This is a quick introduction to what auto-loading is in PHP. So I have an application here, and we can just ignore the commented code for now. But this application has an index.php file and an app file where we have a user class and a company class. So they're just two pretty basic objects with some getters and setters in there. So if I scroll down here, we'll be able to see all we do is create two objects, call some of the set methods, and then we just echo out a string using a couple of the getter methods. Okay, so this index.php file knows about the user and the company because we use this require once. So these two require once calls bring these files in. This is what's actually bringing them into the index.php file. The use statements are just aliases. Oftentimes you'll see these written like that. But just for clarity, we can write them using this as keyword, so the fully qualified name as user, so it's just an alias. Now, if we scroll down here, I'll run this application, so I'll just say php index.php, and we can see that it says the email chris@testco belongs to testco. Okay, so it was able to create these objects just fine. Now, of course, if we comment those require statements out, we'll get some errors. So it doesn't know what the company is. So we first try to create a company object, and then we get a fatal PHP error. So what auto-loading allows us to do is we can basically register some code that will run whenever PHP encounters a class that's not defined. So this SPL autoload register function takes a callback, which is right there, and this gives applications a shot to tell PHP how to resolve these class files. So I'll set a breakpoint in here, and we'll go through the application again. So the first thing that we'll hit, actually 1 second, save my file, start debugging. Okay, so if I run this, you'll see the first thing that we'll hit is line 15. There we go. So at this stage, we haven't printed anything out, but when PHP encounters this object, it isn't going to know how to resolve it. So the callback to SPL autoload register will be invoked. And there it is. So at this stage, our application has a shot to resolve this dependency. And you can include some custom logic like I've done here, and we'll be able to find the file path there. Okay, so by returning that file path, we will be able to resolve that class object. So there's the path to the file. Okay, so I'll continue debugging, and we'll hit this user. Again, PHP doesn't know what the user object is because there's been no require statement or include once or anything like that. So again, this will be hit, and we'll go to the SPL autoload register callback. And there we have it. So that's what autoloading is all about at a basic level, and this is the sort of underlying function that's used. So when you do something like like PSR4 auto loading, and oftentimes something like Composer. It'll all be set up for you when using something like Composer and including third-party dependencies. So you typically don't need to really interact with this function, but I think it's good to know a little bit about what's going on behind the scenes. And as just one last thing to show here, if I were to, let's say, first include these files, or require once, I should say, and then I'll debug this again, we'll see that we first hit this company line, this line to create a company object, but we've already included the company.php file on line 4. So we'll never hit the callback function to SPL autoload register. We'll just go right to line 16. There we go. And again, we've included the user.php file, so the SPL autoload register callback will not be invoked. We'll just go to line 18. So just for clarification, this callback is only invoked when PHP encounters a class that it doesn't know about. Okay, well, I hope that helps. And that's about it for a basic intro to sort of what's going on behind the scenes with autoloading. Beyond this, it's another good thing to look into is PSR4 autoloading. So that's what something like Composer uses. So that's another area that's good to become familiar with. Thank you.